makeup artists, hairstylists, or nail techs who serve only the elite or who serve only the high-end clients, right? What that simply means is that your fees and your service and your aesthetics and everything attracts only the people who can afford you, right? Now there are people who mix it. There are people who charge or who attract both high end and low end based on whoever wants to book me. If you can afford it, book, right? So their fees are kind of like in the middle. Then there are people who they just do not believe in themselves enough to charge higher than the basic, so they are always stuck with the lowest paying client. Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Ginika Temple. My name is Ginika Temple. I'm a beauty educator and a beauty influencer based in Calgary, Canada, and I have been in the beauty industry for 15 years now. This video is for anyone who is in the beauty industry, be you makeup artist, hairstylist, whatever you do in the beauty industry, or you are about to start or you're about to get into the beauty industry. Be rest assured that the part 1 and part 2 would be uploaded at least within 24 hours gap. I felt like this is something we don't talk about enough, because I remember a couple of years back there was a time that I was looking for some information about makeup artistry or whatnot, but I couldn't really find a lot of resources on YouTube. So I thought to myself that when eventually I got on YouTube, this is one of the things I would do, because I wanted people to be able to find as much resources as they possibly can for free on YouTube. If you haven't already done so, please do not forget to click the subscribe button. Being in the beauty industry basically means that you render some kind of service in the beauty industry. For example, you're an esthetician and you could be a nail tech, you could be a makeup artist, you could be a hairstylist. Anything you do to render beauty related service, I categorize you as someone in the beauty industry. This video is not just for beginners. This video is also for people who are already in the beauty industry but really want to scale, really want to grow. I have been there. Trust me, 15 years plus in the industry. I know what I'm telling you. So be sure not to skip any part of this video. Now, the first thing you want to know when you're starting, I'm sure you must have heard this somewhere in the past, is what is your why? And why I'm saying this is because, just like a lot of other careers, this is not one of those careers or one of those things you venture into that you can say that you would just basically be able to do it for long if you don't love it. I'm going to tell you for free, if you don't love it, you are not going to stay long. I'm just going to be honest. Some of the things I will say, I might come off a little bit harsh, but I'm just going to be very honest with you. This is one of those careers that if you decide to go into, you have to be 100% sure that you know that you love it. It's something that you have to be passionate about. You have to look forward to it, right? You have to want it as much as anything. If it's one of those things you want to do because it looks like what people do and gets rich quickly or succeed quickly, yes, it happens like that for a very few people, but that is not a standard criteria, okay? So that is very important. It's very important that you are aware of this. And what is the thing that drives you? Do you really enjoy beautifying people? Do you really enjoy the the experience that comes with knowing that somebody's big day or somebody's special day was beautiful because you were part of it? Do you enjoy the process of putting colors together or putting strands together and making up this beautiful wig or this beautiful makeup? Or do you enjoy the act of being around people? Because if you're not a people person, I don't really know if this career is for you. Being a people person does not mean that you're basically always wanting to be in busy environments where people are, but it means that you must have the ability to be able to stay in front of someone regardless of their character for a while. Because if you're going to do hair, I know that at least I've worked with hundreds of or thousands of hairstylists over these years, and I know for sure that you are going to have to be around people for a while, a couple of hours. For makeup, the same applies. For barbers, the same applies. Whatever you do that has to do with being in close proximity with a human being means that you have to be somebody who is at least okay to be around people. Because if you're not, it can tell. If you're like, we can tell when somebody just is irritated when people are around them, and we can tell the difference. So you have to be very sure of your why. Why do you want to do this? Trust me, money cannot be your driving force. Money is an add-on, is something that comes eventually, but you don't want to start with that mindset that you want to make so much money. If you do, because the money will not come quick, at least for the average person, But if you love it for other reasons, you'll find a reason to keep going even when you're not exactly seeing the money that you want immediately. The other thing you want to do as you're starting off is your name. This is something I feel like I need to talk about because a lot of people's names, trust me, I've been around a lot of makeup artists. I have coached a lot of makeup artists by God's grace. I have coached locally, I have coached globally, and I have coached alongside a lot of other people who are, global names. And by God's grace, I have been able to witness and be around a lot of makeup artists. And one common question people ask is, what should I name my business? What name should I choose? And I'm going to tell you for a fact, and I'll tell you for free, that this is one of the most important things. Every other thing will eventually fall in place, but that name is very essential. It's very essential to have your name be something that when you look back 20 years from now, I wish somebody told me this, right? Because I started my business, I started with the name RTM Beauty and Makeup. Right now, for those of you who might have noticed, I'm sure a lot of people don't notice because they just look at the face of the person on the page, but they don't really look at the name. But I recently changed and reverted back to my original name, which is my real name, Ginika Temple. So why I'm saying that is because you want to be sure of what you want to be remembered for. I got to a point where I had to understand that I am building a legacy. No matter how small it's looking right now to me, this is something that by God's grace, I want to outlive me. What do I want to be remembered for? What do I want this brand to be 10 years from now? And when I asked myself that question, I felt like I needed my name to be part of it for some reasons. And I had prayed about it and God gave me the clarity. So make sure that you're choosing a name that is something that when you look back, you're not having any regret. You cannot be choosing a name like Big Baka Beauty. Big Baka, what was Big Baka? Explain it to me. You may sound cute now, but trust me, when you get wiser, it will not be. You cannot be choosing a name like Slave Queen Mama. I can't believe all these things, but these are real names because trust me, I see a lot of makeup artists and I have a lot of makeup artists too who follow me. And I must tell you that for real, a lot of people make that mistake. So it's very important that you choose your name correctly. And I would advise you, if you can, stick to your name. You get why? If you can't stick to your name, you can now decide to maybe stick to your middle name or your last name or your first name, and then you can add something else if you want to. Or you can just stick to your name. Trust me, I'm telling you from experience. For me, after 15 years to go back to change my name, I'm still in the process of changing my name. My legal documents still have my RTM Beauty. So that it's a long process, and I'm telling you now, you don't want to be there. But then I'm telling you now so that you don't find yourself in that situation, okay? So choose a name that you feel like after a long time you want to be remembered by that name, not based on how you feel in the moment. Number 3, should you register your business? Should you not register your business at first? I will tell you for free, if you can, get your business registered. I'm not even going to dwell too much on this. I live in Canada. A lot of people watching this live in the US, in Canada, in Nigeria, wherever. You want to make sure that you go through that first step. You can decide to do sole proprietorship. You can decide to do like an LLC, EIN number, whatever you decide to do. Make sure that your business is legal. I will not even emphasize this enough. Make sure that your business is legal. The other very common question that people ask is, do I have to go and get trained? Should I just watch YouTube videos? For this, I will tell you for free. I want you to ask yourself, how do you want people to see you? If you want people to, I'm telling you for free, a lot of people who start as self-taught, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people who start as self-taught, they don't exactly, maybe not everyone, I say a lot, not everyone, but a lot of people who start as self-taught at the beginning do not exactly find it easy to get to that point where people see them as an authority. You want people to know that you know what you're doing, right? You don't want to come, it's just like a doctor telling you, I'm just going to use something very serious, but that gives you like a kind of like idea. Just like a medical doctor telling you, I didn't go to medical school, but I can treat you. Even if that doctor is rated the highest, but there will still be that part of your mind that is like, I don't know about this, right? But my point is, so that's just how it is. Anything that people feel like you learned in your living room will never come off the same as somebody who is a certified person. Certification is easy to get for, especially for the beauty industry. Look for someone. I would advise, if you are able to get an international certification. I'm telling you, you don't know where you're going to be tomorrow. Like, instead of doing local, now certifications, you can do certifications online. You can get certified by a makeup artist, hairstylist, whatnot, internationally. It's one-time investment, but it's worth it. You do not want to keep looking within where you are right now, your locality. Anything can change 6 months from now, anything can change 1 year from now, and you realize that whatever certification you had from where you're coming from is no longer, or rather it's not valid enough for you to use in the new location. So if you can spend, if it's gonna cost you an extra couple of dollars or extra couple of naira or thousands of naira, if it's something you can afford, please do it. If you can't afford it, that's totally fine. The other thing we want to talk about is setting up your business page. This is so vital. Setting up your business page is something that a lot of people miss. If you miss it, the good thing is that you can always go back to get it right. Okay? Now, what is on your bio? Your bio is like the first thing people see. It's like when somebody sees you and they see you wearing clothes, how you look in that cloth, like the way you're looking in the cloth. Are you looking dirty? Are you looking disorganized? Is your collar folded inside, or you have a lipstick stain on your neck? That is how people perceive you before they even get to know you for a person. Okay, so that is very important, that you're aware of how important it is to present yourself right. Okay, now I would say for a fact that it's very important that you put everything you do, explain yourself in very simple terms. No plenty protocol. I personally, you can put something personal. Like me, my bio has God's love. I've always had something about God on my bio, because I believe that God is the foundation of everything I'm doing, and I see the need to tell it to people. So some people say, oh no, but it's in your heart. No, me, I want to tell people. Yes. So the way you see somebody who is maybe gay or somebody who is anything put their flag and they're proud of it, that is the way I'm proud of my God and his love for me. So do you, right? So I put it in a very short term, and I said, oh, God's love, or God first, or anything like that. Very short, very simple. / what I do, beauty education. So you can do / hairstylist / wig installator / your whatever the first word is / makeup artist / professional certified makeup artist. Next thing should be your location, because you're rendering a service. This video is basically for people who are rendering service, so you kind of like at least want people to know the state where you are. If not, you're going to be getting messages from people asking you, where are you based, and that can be very annoying. Or they will know that, oh, she's within where I can hire her services. So you want to put that on your bio, put the location drop down, location symbol, put Atlanta, Calgary, Toronto, Lagos, wherever you are. Specify the location, the city, and put it there. Put your contact. I do not advise people to use their phone number on their bio. For me, anybody I see that is using phone number, I don't know. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying my preference. You would want to use something like an email or a link that takes them to your booking site, whatever the case may be. That kind of like comes off as very professional. You don't want to do too much on your bio. I've said this over and over again, especially for people who are in Nigeria. Please do not put no refund on your bio. Have that on your booking terms. I don't think this video can fit into one, so let me just tell you ahead of time. As you're finishing video 1, go and watch video 2. Okay, so have that in your terms and conditions, and put your terms and conditions. Put it there when somebody is now ready to book. Put your refund policy there, but do not put it on your bio. I'm telling you guys, stop copying people who are doing something wrong. You know that something is not right. This is not where you see yourself. If you want to keep seeing yourself as mediocre, that's good for you. But if you see yourself going higher, you have to emulate what people who are already higher are doing. You cannot keep emulating your friends who are in the same confused category. All of you are going to remain confused. A blind man leading a blind man. What do you expect? So I'm just saying it as it is, so that you know for sure what to do on your bio. Okay, now the next thing you want to look out for is, what exactly is your targeted clientele. This is very important. Your targeted clientele means, who are the people you're looking to serve. There are some makeup artists that serve only the elite, which is good. There are some people that kind of like combine it based on whoever reaches out to me, and I'll tell you what places you in which category. There are people who their service. There are people, makeup artists, hairstylists, or nail techs, who serve only the elite, or who serve only the high-end clients. Right? What that simply means is that your fees and your service and your aesthetics and everything attract only the people who can afford you, right? Now there are people who mix it. There are people who charge or who attract both high end and low end, based on whoever wants to book me. If you can afford it, book, right? So their fees are kind of like in the middle. Then there are people who they just do not believe in themselves enough to charge higher than the basic, so they are always stuck with the lowest paying client. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's where you want to be, that's totally fine. I'm just telling you the 3 categories that everybody in the beauty industry falls, so you know which way you want to go as you're starting. Or if you're already in the beauty industry, know the one that is the path where you want to now go going forward. Or if where you are is okay, you can decide to stick there. Now this means that, for example, if you want to attract the high end, up until when I stopped taking clients, I started from the low end. If I'm being honest, I graduated to the people who will pay me, you know, based on different things, the one they can afford at some point. Then I graduated to just staying for people who had who were the high paying clients. Okay, so what that simply means is that you have to, one, your products have to match the service you want to. We're going to talk about products, but your products must match. You cannot be using cheap products and you want to charge high end. I'm telling you now, there's no, it don't add up. It don't add up. Okay, it's just like when you walk into a Burberry store or a Chanel store. You want to walk in there knowing that you have the top dollar in your account. You cannot walk in there with $200 and you're expecting to buy a Chanel bag. It's not possible. Okay, let's be realistic. So that is just how these things work. If you set your standard and you want to attract high-end high-paying clients, your environment, it doesn't have to be very expensive. My studio where I was taking clients went on up until when I stopped was okay. It's not fancy anything, but I make sure that it's clean. The washroom is clean. You know, I just have like the basic thing, and I was always using high end for my clients. No matter what you're paying, I was always using high end. And then my fee, I put what makes me sleep well at night, right? So a lot of people say, oh, it's too expensive. You're not my clientele. So that is just it. So you're not here to please everyone. You cannot be for everyone. Okay. Now that is what fixes you in that high end. Remember, I said the product, your quality of your service must be good. You must know what you're doing for you to have the mind to charge high end. Number 2, your fee will not always be the middle or low. The fees are always on the high. If you talk about the top, maybe top 10 or top 20 in the city, your name will be there in terms of prices, right? Then if you talk about environment or where you serve your clients, it looks good. For some people, they don't even do it in the studio. They go to you, but when they come in, you know that, okay, this person knows what she's doing. She looks the part and all of that. The second category are people who they have like a high fee for certain kind of services and a low fee for certain kind of services. I would always tell you, either you're hot or cold. Do not be in the middle, okay? Usually most people fall here because they will have a mix of high-end and low-end products. So some days they'll say bridal, you bring out the expensive products. Then you say it's not non-bridal, you bring out the one that is not expensive. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that if I'm to advise you, find where you belong, because you would always be in the middle. That's unless you're fine where you are. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. So if you're fine there, that's fine. But if you're looking to elevate, I'm telling you what people in the elevated category do. Okay, so make sure that you are, you know, choosing your path. Or if you want to stay in that middle, that's totally fine. Okay, now you have the people who are in the low category. The low category are those people who, or those service providers who will always use cheap product. They want the cheapest of everything. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying it as it is. So maybe I will come off sounding like a weird kind of way, but I'm just expressing myself in the realest form. So in that category, you have people who would never buy high end. Maybe they will have one high end for a foundation that one of their clients dashed them. That one is not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who, that is not you. You cannot assume that you're, did my bell just ring? Okay, no. You cannot assume that you're in the middle category if you have only 2-3 high-end products in your box, or if you have only 2-3 high-end paying clients. No, it means that a lot of, for the kind of service you provide, one, for most people here, their work is not 100% the steady, you know, it's not the same. So today is good, tomorrow is not good. That is the reason why somebody will have the mind to even price you. We're gonna go talk about all of this. And if you're enjoying this video for so far, please be dropping it in the comment. You guys be giving me the like now. This is not easy. I left my baby upstairs. I'm here to film for you people. So please be giving me all the like in the comment, because it makes me know that we are on this together. We're doing well. Now, that is the thing. So you have to know who do you want to serve. If you're okay with being in the low category, that's fine. Middle category, that's fine. But if you're looking to elevate, I've told you what makes the difference, okay? Your environment, your aesthetic, the way you smell, the way you carry yourself, the way your bio, how people contact you. You don't know all those things play a role. Oh, when you put somebody put WhatsApp number on their bio, and people will message you and be chatting, and in the middle of the night you're answering message. There's so much to talk about. Oh, you people should let me know if you want us to talk about these things. Drop in the chat the questions you have for me. I'll pick topics from there and make videos on them. Okay, so some people will put on their bio and somebody's chatting you by 11 p.m. and you're responding because you don't want to lose the client. You're not ready. Oh. If you're ready to elevate to the high category, you want to be make sure that you carry yourself. You walk the path. I never had my for years, at least for more than 10 years, if I remember, I never had my phone number on my bio. I had maybe at some point, maybe 7-8 years ago, I had like maybe my WhatsApp number on the bio. But as I grew, I knew better, and it was gone. However you present yourself, that's how people will see you. That's what tells if you're going to be. Ask yourself, all the makeup artists you're admiring, do you think they're up chatting with a client in the middle of the night? There's so much to talk about. This video will be too long if I keep going. You guys should let me know in the comments whatever you want me to talk about. So now the next thing here is your location. You want to decide, am I going to be doing home calls? Am I going to be doing only in studio, people come to me? Or you want to do both? Okay, so yeah, that's just it. So you want to be sure that you are you know where you fall. I would always say put your home service fee at least twice the price of your in-studio fee, so that when you're leaving, you're sure that even if you were to book another client, you're not losing money, right? If you're going to someone's house, you have to consider the travel time to their location, the time you're going to get there, and then you have to start setting up, packing up again when you're done, and driving back or taking an Uber back to your location. All of those things are things you have to consider when you fix a price for home call. Okay, so some people don't do home call, they just say if you have to come to them, but it's all up to you. So decide what works for you based on your own setting, where you are. Do you have a car? The location, the city you live in, is it like a place you can easily take like an Uber at an affordable rate, or do you have to take a bus? What are the dynamics? What does it take to take a bus to a client? All of those things, would it affect the timing you have to leave or the timing you have to arrive? And at the end of the day, when you put all of this together, it has to be worth the price you're charging. This is so important. We need to talk about pricing later on. So we'll talk about pricing maybe in another video. You guys let me know. So the other thing I want you to have in mind is your terms and conditions or your contract. So this doesn't have to be anything complicated. I see a lot of people copying a lot of people and doing things that don't make any sense, right? I will tell you for a fact, unless you're not that booked up, right? When I was taking clients, by God's grace, I was always booked up. So I didn't really see myself sending manual contract that people have to sign, like for every single in-studio service, right? So what I did was I had like the terms and conditions. That was what I used, and it was always working for me. I will pop it up on my screen here if you want to zoom in to copy it and then match it to fit whatever works for you. This was like my own template. You can now change the words to whatever works for you. This was for in-studio session. It was slightly different for bridal or for other kind of services. So this, at the end, you can see the last point here states that by proceeding to book, you have accepted the terms on this condition, or something like that. So that basically tells you that if you go ahead to book, you have read this, and you have to, for you to go ahead to book, I don't care if you decided to not read it, you have been sent this and you proceed. And for us to send it to you, you have to confirm that you have received it, right? So that is how we operate. So I know that a lot of people may not really find it. They'll say, oh, I was busy at work, I forgot to sign all of this. I just found this easier for me to work with, and it always did work for me. So if you want to do the contract, that's fine, but it's very important that there is some kind of legal documentation that lets the client know your terms, your arrival policy, the timing policy, and do not joke with those things, sis. You cannot be telling people to arrive early and you are constantly 45 minutes late for your appointment. You'll be looking like a big joke. I'm telling you now, you want to be sure that whatever you're putting there, you have checked your own self and you're sure that you can meet up. And 1 or 2, 3 times things could happen. Be sure to reach out to the client way ahead, not after they've reached out to you. Drop them a message, please, I'm running late, this is the reason, and you make sure that you meet up and then you make it up to them. So it's very important that whatever you put on your terms, you are able to meet up with that, because if you do not, you're going to look like a joke. And trust me, bad news spreads faster than good news. People will talk, and then tomorrow if you do anything and you want to insist, people will just be looking at you like, does this person even know what she's doing? So it's very important that you know your terms and you know what is there. If you're saying, oh, don't come late, I had so many rules that I was very sure, and people never like joked with it, because I knew that I carried myself the way I wanted people to perceive my business. Okay, you want to also consider, are you going to have add-ons or are you not going to have add-ons? For example, if you're doing like a bridal makeup service, are you going to be having like add-ons like reception makeup, touch-ups? Are you going to be giving people touch-up kits? All of those things are things you want to factor in. How much is it going to cost you? Is it going to be worth it?